This is the moment we all hoped would never come. We are breaking in with devastating news that has just shaken Hollywood to its core and heartbroken an entire generation of fans who grew up waiting by the creek. James Van Der Beek, the man who gave us Dawson Leery, the star who defined the WB era, the underappreciated comedic genius, and most importantly, a devoted father of 6, is dead at the age of 48. We have just received the official confirmation, and the details coming out today are as tragic as they are shocking. Wednesday, February 11th, 2026, will now be marked in history as the day we lost a true icon. James passed away yesterday morning at his ranch home in Texas, surrounded by the family he fought so incredibly hard to stay with. His wife, Kimberly, broke the silence just hours ago with a statement that is absolutely gut-wrenching to read. She posted to Instagram confirming that James has lost his battle with stage 3 colorectal cancer. Her words were, "He met his final days with courage, faith, and grace." But behind those beautiful words lies a brutal reality that we need to talk about today. This wasn't just a sudden tragedy. This was the end of a grueling, secret, and expensive war that James had been waging for over 2 years. We need to really get into the timeline here, because if you're sitting there shocked, you are not alone. Most of the world thought James was on the mend. Remember back in November 2024? That was when he first went public with his diagnosis. He did that exclusive interview with People magazine, looking handsome as ever, wearing that signature rugged jacket, telling us, "I'm feeling good," and "I'm optimistic." He said he was taking steps to resolve it. He became the face of early detection, urging men under 50 to get checked. We all bought into the hope. We all thought, it's Dawson. He's the main character. He's going to make it. But the truth, which is coming out now in waves of reports, is that the situation was much more dire than he ever let on. Sources are now revealing that James was actually diagnosed way back in the summer of 2023. He kept it a secret for over a year. Why? Because he wanted to protect his 6 children. He wanted to keep working. He wanted to live on his own terms before the tabloids got a hold of it. And this is a part of the story that should make us all angry. When he finally did speak up in 2024, it wasn't entirely by choice. We are learning that a tabloid was threatening to leak the news first. They essentially forced his hand. He didn't want his kids to find out from a magazine cover at a grocery store checkout line. He wanted to control the narrative for them. That is the kind of father he was, protective until the very end. Now, we have to touch on the most heartbreaking and surprising part of today's update, the financial toll this took on the Van Der Beek family. You might think he's a movie star, he's famous, he's fine, but the reality of modern medical care, even for celebrities, is brutal. We are learning today that James's battle with cancer was so prolonged and the experimental treatments he sought were so aggressive that it reportedly drained the family's resources. There are reports circulating right now, and this is verified, that a GoFundMe has been set up to support Kimberly and the kids. The goal was set high, and it was shattered in hours as fans, fellow actors, and friends rushed to help. But think about that for a second. James Van Der Beek, a household name, leaving behind a family that needs financial support. It's a stark, terrifying reminder that cancer doesn't care who you are. It takes everything. It takes your health, your time, and it attacks your security. Let's take a moment to step back and talk about the man himself, because to reduce James Van Der Beek to just his illness would be a crime. We need to celebrate the life he actually lived. For so many of us, he was the guy who climbed through the window. Dawson's Creek premiered in 1998, and overnight, James became the face of sensitive, articulate, overly analytical teen angst. He wasn't the bad boy, that was Pacey. He wasn't the rebel, he was the dreamer. He was the Spielberg fanatic. He was the heart of the show. He gave young men permission to be emotional, to be verbose, to care too much. But James was smart. He knew that Dawson could be a trap. He knew that being the good guy could end a career if you let it stick. And didn't he fight like hell to break out of it? Who remembers Varsity Blues? That accent, "I don't want your life." That line is legendary. It's still quoted today. He proved right there that he could lead a blockbuster movie and carry a completely different energy. Then he took a hard left turn with the Rules of Attraction, playing a drug-dealing sociopath just to shatter that good guy image. It was dark, it was gritty, and it was brilliant. And later, he did something even brillianter. He learned to laugh at himself. We have to talk about the meme, the crying Dawson meme. For years, James hated it. It mocked his most vulnerable acting moment. But eventually, he embraced it. He owned it. And then, in Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23, he played a fictionalized, arrogant, washed-up version of himself. He was absolutely hilarious. He showed us he was in on the joke. He wasn't just a 90s relic holding on to past glory. He was a working actor who loved the craft and didn't take himself too seriously. We also can't forget his run on Dancing with the Stars. He was a frontrunner. He was incredible. But do you remember why he was eliminated? It was right after he and Kimberly suffered a devastating miscarriage. He danced through the grief. He showed up. He was raw and real on national television. And looking back, that resilience was a preview of how he would handle these last 2 years. In recent years, James traded the red carpets for a ranch in Texas. He moved his family out of Los Angeles to give them a real childhood, away from the paparazzi, away from the fake plastic culture of Hollywood. If you followed him on social media, you saw it. The sunsets, the river trips, the messy, chaotic, beautiful life of raising 6 kids.
And those kids, that is the real tragedy here. Olivia, Joshua, Annabelle, Amelia, Gwendolyn, and Jeremiah. Those are the names we need to keep in our hearts today. James was constantly posting about them, writing long, thoughtful captions about how fatherhood was the only role that really mattered. He wasn't handing them off to nannies. He was there. That's what makes this loss feel so personal. We watched him grow up on screen, and then we watched him become this incredible dad. Even in the middle of chemotherapy, even when he must have been exhausted and in pain, he was out there dancing with his daughters, teaching his sons archery, and holding on to every single moment. He recently said in an interview, "I'm very carefully curating my life now." He cut out the noise. He focused on love. He knew his time might be short, and he didn't waste a second of it. The reaction from Hollywood has been instantaneous and overwhelmed with grief. His Dawson's Creek co-stars, Katie Holmes, Joshua Jackson, Michelle Williams, they have a bond that goes back nearly 30 years. They were children together in Wilmington, North Carolina. We're seeing tributes pouring in, calling him a giant of a man, a pillar of strength, and the best of us. Busy Phillips, who is close with the family, is reportedly devastated. John Wesley Shipp, who played his father on the show, posted a tribute saying he felt like he lost a real son. This isn't just a colleague to them, this is family. There is also a tragic irony here that we have to acknowledge. James spent the last year of his life trying to save others. He went on national television. He stripped down for the Real Full Monty charity special, which is a huge deal. All to tell men, go get a colonoscopy. Don't wait. He used his own pain, his own privacy, to try and prevent other families from feeling what his family is feeling right now. He said, "I have a lot to live for." And he did. He really, really did. He advocated for men's health when he was fighting for his own life. That is the definition of heroism. As we look at the legacy he leaves behind, it's complicated and beautiful.
It's the sensitive boy on the creek who taught us to dream. It's the football hero who stood up to authority. It's the comedic genius who could mock his own fame. But mostly, it's the fighter. It's the man who looked a terminal diagnosis in the eye and chose to live his final days with courage, faith, and grace. We are going to keep tracking this story. We are waiting for details on the memorial service, which is expected to be private in Texas, and we will be following the support efforts for his wife and children. If you want to help, please look for the verified links to the family's fund. Do not fall for scams. Look for the ones verified by his co-stars. We will try to have those available for you in the pinned comment below. This is a hard day for Hollywood, but it's a much harder day for a family in Texas who just lost their world. Their father, their husband, their hero is gone. If you take anything away from this video, let it be James's message. Get checked, prioritize your health, and hug your loved ones a little tighter today, because nothing is promised. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this. We'll see you in the next video.